Hello and welcome to my world. Welcome to Shanghai Disneyland again, and please excuse me, my lens is fogging up because it is so humid today. I have not experienced this since I went to Walt Disney World several years ago. So we are waiting for the early morning entry into the park, and they're using the same entry procedure as they did yesterday. And they started opening the gate for hotel guests around 7 o'clock, and the early morning entry time technically starts at 7:30. So once again, they do open their early morning entry early, so keep in mind the first bus doesn't leave the Toy Story Hotel until 7:05 a.m. So once again, take a taxi if you want to get here early. They do start their early morning procedure about 15 to 30 minutes early. So here's the gates right there. That's actually the main gate to get through. And they just opened it. It's a little after 7 o'clock right now. So I hope you're ready to come along on this adventure through a foggy lens. And welcome aboard. Here we go. Okay, now that my lens is cleared off a bit, and the inside of my camera is now the same temperature and humidity as the outside of the camera, now my lens is not fogging up. So sorry about that. I was not filming from San Francisco with the thick fog. I was actually filming from right outside Shanghai Disneyland, the main gate there. So on the Disneytown side of the main gate. So anyways, we are waiting for the park to open. Well, actually, excuse me, we're waiting in the queue to get into the park for early morning entry hotel guests. And they opened the park a little bit earlier today than yesterday. Yesterday they opened it about 20 minutes early. Today they opened it up at 30 minutes early, at 7 o'clock sharp. And the official posted early morning entry time is 7:30 for hotel guests. So now we're waiting at the gate to get in. We just went through security. Security, once again, was going through my camera bag. My wife was telling me, because they didn't speak English, that they were looking for a camera flash. And they actually asked me, do you have a camera flash for this camera? Which I thought was unintentionally hilarious, considering I'm using a tiny point-and-shoot camera. This is not my big Nikon F100, so there's no way to attach a flash to it, even if I could. So anyways, I'm gonna put this away. We're gonna go through the turnstiles. Okay, after finally getting through the most rigorous security procedure and entrance procedure I have ever experienced in my entire life of going to Disney theme parks around the world, we are finally inside Shanghai Disneyland. So, for the record, no matter, you need your passport to get into Shanghai Disneyland every day that you come here. So I thought maybe they scanned it yesterday and matched it with my park ticket yesterday, but no, they asked for our passports again. So, as I said in the beginning of my video yesterday, make sure you have your passport and no flashes for your cameras. No flashes, no matter how small of a camera you have. On the other hand, if you have a phone with a flash on it, they don't give a squat, basically. Pardon my French. They don't care at all. So, yeah, it's segregation against shutterbugs, basically. So, anyways, we are headed off to, since it's early morning, so you see, because it's a Friday, it's quite busy. The crowd is here quite a bit earlier, and they opened the gate, the main gate, as I said, they opened it a good 15 or 20 minutes earlier than yesterday. So just something to keep in mind when you get here, that no matter what the posted opening time or posted early morning start time, get here early if you want to get on a lot of rides, okay? Everybody's running off, going to the rides. We've already done everything, so we're taking it slow and easy. So nothing on Mickey Avenue's open yet. Notice, look at the window glass. See how fogged up it is? That's how humid it is here right now, even though it's raining. So for you fellow Disney fans out there, when you see storm clouds approaching in the summertime here in Shanghai, think Walt Disney World, okay? Don't think Disneyland. The Disneyland, when you see the storm clouds coming, it's gonna get pretty chilly. Grab your jacket, sweatshirt, or something like that. But just like in Orlando, when it starts to rain here in the summertime, this is typical, it's gonna be sticky weather. So be ready for that. So we are heading to Rip-Roaring Rapids in the morning because we're already pretty wet. So would it really kill us if we get wet some more? Probably not. And there's probably not going to be much of a wait for it in this weather. So everybody is probably, I'm guessing, heading over this way, heading over to Zootopia. There's the Enchanted Storybook Castle again, right there. Everybody's probably heading off to Zootopia, hot pursuit, I would imagine. The park is considerably busier this morning compared to yesterday morning. And also note that there is an add-on to a regular park admission ticket for early admission. And I don't know how much it is. I didn't really look into it because we were staying at the Toy Story Hotel. But it's probably cheaper than staying at the Toy Story Hotel plus buying an admission ticket. But the disadvantage is the wait to get into the early morning add-on. They have a separate queue for that. It is considerably longer than the hotel early morning admission ticket holders. So something to keep in mind if you want to get in the park quickly and efficiently. Still, as I said on our first day here, still staying on site is the way to go. And you can get quite a few rides done in that 1 hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half in the morning. So, oh, here we go. We're headed off to Adventure Isle. Everybody else is running off in other directions. I'm not sure where. Yeah, so most of those people are going to Zootopia, which is over that way. But we're headed to Rip Roaring Rapids, which is over here in Adventure Isle. So notice how everybody else is really running around all over the place, whereas I'm just taking it slow and easy. Okay, it's a good example. Remember yesterday when how few people were over here in the morning? Yeah, so there's quite a few more here. I wonder if these people are gonna wait to meet Lena Bell. What you're seeing here, these might be diehard Lena Bell fans. So I'm very curious how long the queue will wait for the meet and greet with Lena Bell. Yesterday it topped out at about 210 minutes in the afternoon. My wife has said that she kind of keeps an eye on it sometimes from home on the app. It does get over 500 minutes long. So, and they do close off the queue early. So it's not as though Lena Bell is going home at 4 o'clock in the morning when all the guests are gone from the queue. No, they do close off the queue early. So if you are a Lena Bell diehard fan, you will have to wait. There's just no way around it. So yes, these are diehard Lena Bell enthusiasts. This is what they're waiting for. Okay, so that under the hut there, that queue, that overflow queue, that is the meet and greet for Lena Bell. So here we are. It is about 7:30, and notice the wait to meet Lena Bell. It is already 160 minutes, so we may reach the 500-minute barrier. We may smash through it later today if it's this busy already. So thankfully, I am not a diehard Lena Bell fan. So I will just go by there and, yeah, just acknowledge the diehard nature of those Lena Bell fans. They are more devoted than Swifties, probably. So anyways, so the wait for Lena Bell is that long. And here is Rip Roaring Rapids. And notice... And notice how long the wait is for Rip Roaring Rapids, or excuse me, Roaring Rapids, I'm sorry. Keep thinking of Magic Mountain. I think Rip Roaring Rapids is the name of their rapid ride. Notice the wait for this. It is a whopping 5 minutes. So, Lena Bell or Rapids? Let's go for the Rapids. And once again, sorry for all the water on my lens, but get ready for water and fog. So we just got off of Roaring Rapids, and we actually rode it twice. So it's pouring rain. When you're this wet, who cares, right? By the way, there's the queue for Roaring Rapids, and that generator right there plays the same sound effect as the Indiana Jones adventure. The exact same sound effect. So anyways, we are headed over to Fantasyland, and we got absolutely soaked on it. And I might have gotten more wet from the rain actually on the lift hill, because there was a section there when the lift hill stopped. I think they were loading up more people to get on, and we stopped there for a few minutes, and that's when I really got soaked, was just sitting in the rain. But when you're already wet, who cares? So we actually rode it twice. And a lot of the cast members here, it seems like, I think everybody wears ponchos. So ponchos are a major deal here. Whereas when I go to California Adventure and I ride Grizzly River Run, or I go to Animal Kingdom and I ride Kali River Rapids, very few people, I'm like the only guy that wears a poncho there at those parks. But here it's like everybody wears ponchos. So it was kind of fun. On the last ride, the second ride we got, my son and I, we rode it with a bunch of guys, young guys that didn't have ponchos on either, so we had fun. No, sorry. Chris Provost from Provost Park Pass, sorry. No canoes in the rain today. So, I watch the Provost Park Pass YouTube channel a lot, and I know he loves canoe rides at Disney theme parks. So he would be disappointed. No canoes today in the rain. Actually, I'm amazed those things can keep floating with this much rain coming down. They may sink. So, we are headed over to Fantasyland, and we are going to ride Peter Pan. So we didn't ride that yesterday. And it is really pouring down. This is probably the hardest rain we have experienced so far on this adventure. But that's okay. Like I said, I do not let rain stop me. And like I said, my son and I were pretty wet already from the rain, so what's a couple rides on an Intamin Rapids ride, right? Who cares? You're already soaked. And actually, like I said, it was kind of humid and getting hot, so I was getting kind of sticky there, so actually, I am no longer hot. So it was pretty nice. I wonder if they opened the main gate early. There's a lot of people suddenly coming in. Park opens today at 8:30, closes at 9:30, same as yesterday. Today is Friday, so yeah, it will be busy. We noticed it's already busier. Tron Light Cycle Power Run already has a 40-minute wait, I think. So, that's okay. We're just gonna take it slow and easy today. Slower and easier than yesterday, even. So the way it worked out was we checked out of the Toy Story Hotel. Yeah, I think the rest of the park is open. I think the main gate is open for the general public now. There's quite a few people coming in all of a sudden. It's almost 8:30 right now. So I wonder if they open their main gate for the general public early too here. So anyways, we checked out of the Toy Story Hotel this morning super early, and we stashed our bags over there. So they're holding our bags at the bell desk over there. And today, unfortunately, we're going to be leaving here a little bit earlier than last night, and be checking into another hotel here in Pudong, which is closer to the airport. Shanghai Disneyland is not really that close to the airport, so that's why we are going to be staying at another place. So it was really hard getting up an extra, I think I woke up an extra 45 minutes to half an hour earlier today compared to yesterday. And yesterday was hard enough getting up early, but I'm okay. After coming, it's hard to get up early, but coming to a Disney theme park is the best wake-up call there is. Oh, and they took down all the construction walls down here. Cool. Maybe they're doing some yard work here, cutting some of these trees and stuff. But there we go. There's a wonderful view of Enchanted Storybook Castle that I didn't get yesterday because of those green construction walls. It looks like they're still working on the stage, though, in front of the castle. So, yeah, this castle's starting to grow on me on this trip. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm capturing it on video for the first time, but it's starting to grow on me a bit. So, it's not hideous. No, it never was, in my opinion. Some people do. Some people think this Enchanted Storybook Castle is hideously ugly. I don't think so. I never have thought it, but it is starting to grow on me a bit more on this trip. So today, I'm going to do a rainy walk through Fantasyland. So come along and join me. Oh, poor Duffy in front of me. Duffy's getting wet there. So here's a view of the Gardens of Imagination. Okay, yeah, I didn't get a chance to show you this yesterday. Here's the Gardens of Imagination right here. So lots of room for fireworks shows and castle projection shows down here. And this area does fill up. On busy, like probably today and tomorrow Saturday, yeah, it's gonna fill up, so. And let's go through the center of the castle today on a rainy day. Why not? Follow the ponchos. Because we are headed over to Disneyland because we are going to ride Peter Pan, which we did not ride yesterday. So let me squeeze between the poncho people here. Ah, here we go. So I notice a lot of people camping out here because it's dry. Whenever it's hot too, a lot of people just sit on these benches, camp out, but today they're drying off. If you want to see what this castle looks like, take a look at my video from yesterday when it wasn't raining, and you can see more of it. Notice everybody staring at my camera, so you kind of get used to that. Like I said, vlogging and live streaming, as I said before, is not a thing here. So you don't see a lot of people. People here are not quite familiar with it, and especially vlogging in English. That's why. So if you notice people staring at my camera, it's not because my pants are on backwards or anything goofy like that, or something. My hair is on fire or anything. It's just they're not used to hearing people speaking out loud in English to a camera. So you kind of get used to it. Speaking of that, as far as English goes, yes. Of all the Disney theme parks I have been to around the world, this one has the biggest language barrier. I'm not saying there is a language barrier here, but yeah. When the security personnel yesterday, I set off the metal detector, and when I came back into the park through the downtown, through the Disneytown entrance, I set off the metal detector, and the security person was asking me if I had anything metal in my pockets, and I said, my wife was translating for me. I didn't know at the time, and I told them I'm sorry, I only speak English. I have no idea what you're saying, and they didn't. They gave me a blank stare in response. So. Just be prepared for those sorts of encounters with some of the cast members. I have run across that at Tokyo Disneyland too, but the difference is, and this is a key difference between Tokyo Disneyland cast members and the cast members here. Tokyo Disneyland cast members that don't speak English will get on the radio, and from my experience, and they will call over somebody who is fluent in English, and they'll just tell you, oh, please wait, and politely they'll tell you, please wait here, and they will get somebody that does speak English to you. I've experienced that many times at Tokyo Disneyland, whereas you don't see that here. They'll just sit there with kind of a blank stare when you respond in English, and so they're not used to people that only speak English here, which, given the amount of English-speaking tourists from Europe I've seen on this trip, I'm kind of surprised they haven't been better trained on that, how to deal with English-only speakers. So anyway, just be ready for that. Like I said, that's the only time it came up with me, was just at the security gate yesterday. And, oh, and by the way, what set off the metal detector was my coin purse in my pocket that's full of Chinese coins. That's what triggered it. So here is Peter Pan's flight. It's only a whopping 5-minute wait. So let's go hop on.
Yeah.
So we just got off of Peter Pan's flight, and it was only a five minute, not even 5 minutes. It was, you know, just like at Disneyland, when the signs here say 5 minutes, it basically means it's a walk on. And it was such a short walk on wait, we actually did it twice. So that was fun. The Peter Pan here is really good. I do like it. It is longer than Disneyland's, and it does use some projection in it. Not a lot, but there is some. But it's done very well. So and it's strangely not that popular here. It's nowhere near as popular as at the Magic Kingdom or Disneyland, or Tokyo Disneyland even, for that matter, now that I think about it. So for some reason, this attraction, if you want to get in your Peter Pan fix and do the best version of it, there it is right there, Shanghai Disneyland. Doesn't have a long wait. So we are headed off to 100 Acre Wood. So we are going to ride Winnie the Pooh's Honey Pot Spin, which we did not get a chance to do yesterday. So just enjoy the nice rainy walk through the back of Fantasyland. So the rain has let up a little bit, but it's still coming down pretty good. You know, I never got. Maybe take a side trip and show you what Toy Story Land is like. Hang on, let me ask my family. This is their Toy Story Land here. This was the first new land added to Shanghai Disneyland. I've ridden everything in here before, so I don't think I'm going to do it. And these attractions here are all outdoors, so I don't really. I've gotten wet enough. Although there's some hardcores here. Look at people riding Woody's Roundup, which is the exact same attraction as Mater's Junkyard Jamboree. One of those squishy rides where you squish the person that's sitting next to you. I do like these rides very much. They are a lot of fun, but in this kind of weather, it turns into a water ride. So that's okay. Just take you for a little walk around through Toy Story Land. There's a balsa wood flyer. I used to build those and fly those when I was a kid all the time. Used to buy them at the store. It's like a 10-minute bike ride from our house when I was a kid. Yes, they do have an Al's Toy Barn here. Why they don't have this at the other Toy Story lands, I don't know. But I'll take you on a quick cruise through. Why not? We'll just take a peek in here. Let me turn off the camera so I can fold up my umbrella and show you what's inside Al's Toy Barn. So here we are inside Al's Toy Barn. And I didn't get a chance to come in here yesterday. I didn't even make it into Toy Story Land yesterday. So one thing I find very interesting is that they love Lotso here. It's kind of weird. They just love him here. I don't see this at any of the other parks that have a Toy Story Land. But they absolutely, here's a corner here devoted to Lotso. I don't know if, I mean, they don't, at least the whole Disney villains thing doesn't seem to be a big deal here at Shanghai Disneyland like it is at Disneyland. So there's not a lot of villains merchandise, but for some reason Lotso, and let's be honest, he is a bad guy. You know, there's no way around it. He's the bad guy of the Toy Story franchise. But for some reason, this is one, I don't know if he's really a villain, but he's the one bad guy that the folks here seem to really love for some reason. I don't know why. Like, for example, here's some Lotso backpacks. You don't see backpacks here with Darth Vader on them, or Cruella de Vil, or Maleficent, or anything like that. It's just very interesting how Lotso is the hot Toy Story character here. So they got all the other characters here too, but as far as merchandise goes, they seem to have more Lotso merchandise than anything else in here. Okay, they do have a version of, it's called Rex's Racer here. I forgot the name of this. I believe in Walt Disney Studios it's called Rex's RC Racer or RC Racer. Here it's just called Rex's Racer. It's an Intamin half-pipe coaster. So, and over here they have one of the Slinky Dog flat rides here, just like at Walt Disney Studios. Oh yes, okay, yes. Okay, this one is called Rex's Racer here. And you can see, oh there it goes. Yeah, I just wanted to film it going. Is this a roller coaster? That's kind of a subject for debate. Coaster enthusiasts have their own opinion on that. I do. I consider this a roller coaster. It rolls, it does coast. It's designed to be a thrill ride. Therefore it is a roller coaster. And there's Rex at the controls. Those people are riding it in the rain. Okay, trying to remember what the name of this attraction was here. Same attractions, go by, like most Disney parks, same attraction you'll find. They'll call it different names. This is called Slinky Dog Spin here. Just couldn't remember, I needed to see the sign. Remember the little green army men? I love how they make these, also in the films, how they have the overmolding, the mold flashing on there. I always love that. I don't know if kids still play with those, but I sure did when I was a kid. Okay, this is a games area right here, where you can play little carnival games for prizes. And this is the entrance to Tomorrowland right here. It's where it transitions from Toy Story Land over here to Tomorrowland straight ahead. So we're gonna make a U-turn and head back to Fantasyland. So here's a portion of Fantasyland I haven't taken you to yet. This is where you can meet Mickey inside there. And oh, here's Dumbo right there. Dumbo is technically, I believe, in Fantasyland here along with the Fantasia Carousel. I think technically it is in Fantasyland, although it's outside of the Enchanted Storybook Castle. So for me it always seems like it's an attraction that's in the Gardens of Imagination. That both of those attractions, the carousel and Dumbo. Oh, okay, I haven't approached the castle from this side yet on this adventure. So here it is right here. So we kind of took the long way to get to Winnie the Pooh, but that's okay. Please, once again, I'm doing my best to try to keep my lens as dry as possible. So please forgive me for any rain that's on the lens. I am stopping to clean the lens of this camera like every 5 or 10 minutes. So please bear with me. Here's the other side of the Gardens of Imagination. Very wet Gardens of Imagination today. It's been a while since I've experienced a Disney theme park with this kind of rain. It's starting to come down harder again. So let's go through the castle one more time. Stay dry. A lot of people camping out here, drying off. Okay, which is a great opportunity for me to stop and dry off my camera lens. So let me do that right now. So we will continue on. Now my lens is a little bit more dry. We'll see. It's dry when I'm indoors like this. As soon as I go outside here in a second, watch, it's gonna get wet again. So here we go. So there we go. Out into the rain. I believe that man that just opened his umbrella there might be a plainclothes security officer. The man in the denim right there with the black umbrella. I saw him yesterday walking around with some security personnel. And I had read online that they are trying to clamp down on people selling fake merchandise inside the park. So I read they are employing plainclothes security people to put an end to that. And yes, in the past, I haven't seen it. I'm shocked I haven't seen it this trip, but there were people on all my previous visits here that would get into the park and sell their fake merchandise. Not only in the walkways like this, but actually in the attraction queues. They would walk up and down the queues selling what I assume is fake Disney merchandise. And I read that just recently the park has started to employ plainclothes security officers to remove those people from the park, which I'm all for. Absolutely. Please, please. And this is the first trip that I've been here since this park opened that I have not seen people selling the fake stuff here, and also I have not been approached, and my wife has not been approached by any annual pass holders offering discounts on purchases like I talked about on my very first video here that I filmed inside the World of Disney. We've been inside the World of Disney quite a few times, and not once has anybody approached us, me or my wife, offering a discount. So great. And there were a lot of security officers walking through World of Disney on this trip, by far, way more than I've ever seen before. So kudos. Now what you got to do is stop the guys out over by the bus drop-off and pickup point outside the park. Please, please, somebody stop those people from doing that. Just talk about instant ruining the magic. But that's why Walt Disney World has so much land, right? Keep those riffraff out. But somehow the riffraff gets on Disney property here. I'm not sure how they do it. So anyways, we're headed over to 100 Acre Wood, as I said before. Just kind of taking the long way through the rain. I don't mind. I can't speak for the rest of my family. I don't know if they enjoy walking, strolling through the rain, but I don't mind. Some people, if it's raining like this, they'll say, oh, I'm just gonna not go to the parks, and not just here possibly, but in all the Disney theme parks. And I say, fine, less people ahead of me. I have always loved going to Disneyland in the rain. Since I was a little kid, I've always loved it. Let's be honest, when you're a little kid and it's raining at Disneyland, it's so wet, it's the only time that, at least in my case, my parents did get mad at me for jumping in the puddles. So yeah. And I am wearing, when it's raining at the parks, I wear waterproof hiking boots. So my feet are high and dry right now. Not a problem. So that's one thing that kind of annoys me. If you are wearing the wrong shoes and you get the squishy, wet socks, soggy socks all day, so every time you step, it goes oh, okay, that's one thing that does get on my nerves. So I wear my waterproof hiking boots when the weather's like this. Here is the entrance to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, the Vekoma family coaster. And it only has a 45-minute wait. Wow, that is not long at all. So I guess the rain is chasing people away a bit today. I'm not sure, but I thought there's a lot more people in the park, but I don't know if the wait times are too much bigger. So 45 minutes, for the record, is not very long at all for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train here. This baby will get up to an hour wait within the first half hour of the park opening, and it will stay like that, get up to like an hour and a half, and it will stay that way till park closing. It's one attraction that if you want to do it, you have to get here early and prepare to run to it, which is the only time. I've only ridden it once. That was last year with my son, and that's what we did. We were one of the first few people in the park, and we ran to it. And then we only had like a 5 or 10 minute wait for it. So here we are. We are at 100 Acre Wood, Winnie the Pooh's Mini Land. And we are going to be riding Pooh's Honey Pot Spin, which is wonderfully covered. So it's not like the Mad Tea Party at Disneyland. It is wonderfully covered, just like the Mad Tea Party at the Magic Kingdom so you stay nice and dry. Pooh Bear does not like to get wet, evidently, which is great. Oh, it only has a 5-minute wait. All right, I'm all for that. Let's go. Who doesn't want to spin in a honey pot super fast, right? Everybody's doing the same thing. So this is what the ride looks like. Instead of riding in a big teacup, you spin around in a honey pot. But notice how they spell honey twice. They spell honey the correct way, like on that pink one, and look at how they use Pooh Bear spelling on that pink one. So anyway, very inconsistent in their spelling. So as soon as we got off of honey pot spin, it just started pouring. It is just dumping rain right now. So much that the walkways are kind of flooded a little bit out there. So we are just waiting out the storm, taking a break here. We are in the seating area of the Tangled Tree Tavern, which is covered. And which is interesting though, because the tables are still pretty wet in here. I don't know. I think the wind was blowing pretty good. So, but you can see she's drying off the seats. I went to the bathroom over here. For the record, if you ever hear and it's pouring rain, there's a bathroom right down here. You can get some paper towels and dry off the tables and chairs with. So in this bathroom, not many people use it, so it's kind of hard to find and hard to see. So it's really nice in there, and there's nobody in there. So, but it's just pouring. Look, it is just absolutely dumping right now. So this is almost the record amount of rain I've ever experienced at a Disney theme park. Pretty close. I've been to Disneyland in monsoons like this though quite a few times over the years, and certainly Walt Disney World too, close to this. But this is, as far as my overseas park visits, this is the most amount of rain I've experienced by far. So the rain caught up with me, finally. Well, we're just sitting here at the Tangled Tree Tavern's outdoor eating terrace, waiting for the rain to hopefully let up a little bit. It is absolutely pouring. It's coming down pretty hard, as I showed in my last video. But I actually have some time here to show this. All these things are what I needed to get into the park today. So in the lower left, I got my passport. They, as I said when we were coming through, although I don't know how clear it came through on the audio there at the entrance, at the main gate to the park, they have been asking to see my passport every day, and they do scan it. They have a passport scanner there at the turnstiles at the main gate that they actually scan it every day. So make sure you bring your passport. This is what the park ticket looks like when you stay at the Toy Story Hotel. So make sure you bring that with you. And this green card right here is what enables you to get in for the early morning ride time, or early morning admission. Now, this is our hotel key card. Now, the reason I bring that, you don't need to bring this into the park every day, aside, you don't want to get locked out of your hotel room, of course. But the reason I bring this is because at the check-in desk, the lady there wrote my room number on it. And whenever they ask to see my park ticket or this green early morning admission ticket, they've been asking for my room number. So just going through security and through the main gate, I had about 4 security people ask me what my room number was and what my last name was. Now, I don't know how to say numbers in Mandarin, so that's why I just pull out this card key, this paper sleeve that they put the hotel room card key in, and I just show them this room number that the lady at the check-in desk wrote on the outside of it. So I just show that to them, and there's not a problem. So if you have a long last name, be ready to spell it. They seem to know letters well. So when I say my last name is very short. It's only 4 letters, but even then, they seem to understand it pretty well. But those are what you need to get into the park every day here at Shanghai Disneyland. Just while I was filming that video on what you need to get into Shanghai Disneyland every day, it just started raining even harder than when I was filming right out here earlier. It is absolutely dumping right now. So remember in that video that I filmed just about 10 minutes ago, I said that this was close to the hardest rain I had experienced at a park. I think this might set the record for, this is what it was like at Disneyland a few times I went during a few monsoons over the years. And this is kind of what it was like when I went to Walt Disney World a few times, but it is just absolutely pouring out right now. So this is by far the most rain I've experienced at an international non-US Disney theme park. So we have a new record set today here, courtesy of Shanghai Disneyland and the rainy weather today. But it's not hot. It is not. It's actually quite comfortable aside from the rain. Just filming some more of the rain. Kind of appropriate because the Adventures of Winnie the Pooh is right next door, and there's that scene where it says rain, 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 rain. Here we go. If Pooh Bear ever comes out of the attraction next door, this is what he's gonna be greeted with today. More rain. So the rain is let up quite a bit. So it's just lightly sprinkling right now, but Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is down right now. And I thought it might be due to it possibly having, I couldn't remember, it's been a long time since I've ridden this. I couldn't remember if it had a chain lift or if it had a tire driven lift. So a lot of Vekoma coasters that have tire driven lifts shut down when it's raining, like Gadget's Go Coaster. But nope, I think there's something else wrong with it. But one of the things I like about this coaster is that the support structure is hidden within the theming. So very nice. It's one of the things I don't like about Tron Light Cycle Power Run, is that the structure on the outdoor portions of the track is highly visible and there's no effort was made to hide it in any way. So kudos to the Imagineers who worked on this coaster to make it not look like a standard steel Vekoma roller coaster. So I'm just headed into Zootopia Land, and this is, I thought this is the overflow queue, or they're making people wait to get into the land, but no, this is the overflow queue for Hot Pursuit. So this was not used at all yesterday, so it has a 70-minute wait right now. So even though it was pouring rain, there's still quite a few people here. I imagine it would be even busier if it were a nice day. But they're letting people walk into Zootopia Land without any problem. Today's Friday, so you don't have to wait in the holding area, which is behind those gates right there. So maybe the crowds in this area of the park have kind of diminished a bit, and it's been open for over a year now, so maybe the hype has died down a bit, I'm not sure. But yeah, see that mess? So I'm glad we didn't have to wait through any of that right there. So just strolling through, following Judy Hopps cosplayer in front of me here. Yes, dressing up like Judy Hopps is the one cosplay costume that I do see here at Shanghai Disneyland. Pretty rare, but you know, there are some folks that are dressed up like Judy Hopps. And I was wondering if the rain would chase away all the Shanghainese young women that like to get dolled up to take pictures here. And based on what I've seen so far, the answer to that is no. They still come out in force to take pictures, even though it was just absolutely pouring rain not that long ago. This is the wait to meet. Oh no, this is the single rider. Okay, this is the Disney Premier Access and single rider entrance to Zootopia Hot Pursuit, right there. And here's the wait to see Nick Wilde and Judy Hopps, right here. So they weren't out here earlier yesterday when I was filming here, but they are here now. I can see them. Let me squeeze around over here. And there they are, right there. So I don't know how long of a wait this is. It's not posted here. But this is the wait for Disney Premier Access for Hot Pursuit. So it's still a pretty considerable wait, but it's probably way less than 70 minutes, which is the posted standby wait time right now. So I'm here to look for something to eat, if I can. Let me see. Okay, we're taking a little snack break here, waiting out the storm. And on the left is caramel corn, and on the right is, get this, corn popcorn. So their caramel corn here is not as sweet as the caramel corn back home. And I've heard that the corn flavored popcorn tastes like corn chowder. So I'm gonna try it out for a second, and looks good. I'm getting pretty hungry too. So we seem to be doing a lot of unboxing videos on this adventure, but here we go. This is what I had intended to eat ever since we left home. In Zootopia Land, they sell these big donuts, and my O fell off. How do you spell donut? But anyways, they have these huge donuts, and you get these at the Jumbo's Cafe in Zootopia Land. And I had read that you have to mobile order these. No, you do not. I was able to place an order with these just going up to the window and pointing to what I wanted on the menu and handing him my Visa card. So no problem. So I'm gonna chow down on this because I am hungry. Okay, I found my U. So that's what it's supposed to look like. It was in the bottom of the box. It fell off when I was walking over here. We were actually eating in Fantasyland, and I had to walk all the way over from Zootopia Land to get here. So, and I was walking kind of fast. It was kind of sprinkling a little bit. So didn't want my donut to get wet. But so that's what it should look like right there with the U in place. Okay, time to chow down on this bad boy. So as I said, the rain does not chase away the gals that get all dolled up fancy. Yeah, the rain does not chase them away at all. So anyway, just something you only see. Once again, remember, this is the Bizarro Disneyland Disney theme park. Yeah, I thought, I mean, in Disneyland, you know, it's close to Hollywood and stuff like that, and so of course, you know, women there, I'm sure they're surrounded around the makeup industry and all that sort of thing, celebrities and stuff. So, but still, I bet if it started pouring rain at Disneyland as hard as it was raining here, these people probably would, down there would give it up, give it a rest for the day. But not here. Nope, it just keeps going on. So, interesting. And as I said in my video from yesterday, a few days ago too, that the younger generation here in Shanghai didn't used to do that just a few years ago. I mean, 6 or 7 years ago, you did not see that. So this is kind of a new thing that's happening here and changing. And my son, when we went to Tokyo, we took him to Tokyo for the first time. My wife and I have been to Tokyo several times, but we took him to Tokyo for the first time a few years ago. And when he saw the way young women were dressed there, he coined the term Tokyo-y. And I did not think that up. I got to give my son all the credit in the world for coming up with that term. So he said, like, oh man, she looks really Tokyo-y. So, and that kind of stuck. Now I have a new term here, Shanghai-neasy. So the way some of these young women dress with the lacy dresses, and the best I can describe is like French maid outfits. The best I could describe is Shanghai-neasy. So I don't know. Please, if anybody is into fashion, please comment below if there is a name for this new style of dress that Shanghainese women are doing. So, I don't know. I've never seen it described anywhere. Just, once again, it's what makes this the Bizarro Disney theme park. Oh, I need to pose like that. Yeah, I need to pose like that. That'd be cool, huh? Okay, now that it's not raining, here we are, same place. Now that it's not raining, see, people are coming out to take pictures here in Gardens of Imagination. Oh, I see a Pooh Bear backpack down there. I was going to zoom in on it, but the lady took it off. So this is what people do, and a lot of times you'll see professional photographers in this area taking pictures of their clients in front of the castle. Okay, so we are headed to another unique attraction that we have never done. And it's the walkthrough attraction inside the Enchanted Storybook Castle. So there are two attractions that go through the castle. There is the Voyage to the Crystal Grotto, the boat ride that goes underneath the castle. and I hope we'll have time to do that, I'm not sure. And there's also a walkthrough attraction that tells the story of Snow White. Always meant to do the walkthrough. I've done Voyage to the Crystal Grotto a few times. Always meant to do the walkthrough attraction, but just never had the time to do it. And I think it closes during the fireworks and projection shows. So if you wait too late in the day to do this, it most likely won't be open. So there it is. It's called the Once Upon a Time Adventure. So let's go check out something new that we've never done. So we're actually walking up the spiral staircase in the center of the Enchanted Storybook Castle. And I misspoke. I thought we had never done this before, but I was just talking to my wife. We have done this before. I remember this portion of it, but it's been a long time. I think we did this just once on the very first trip we came here when the park first opened. So it's been a while. So you can peek through there. I'm not sure if it shows through, but that's actually where the chandelier is, that with the crystal on the bottom of it in the center of the castle is. So once you get through where the Wicked Witch's mirror is, everybody stampedes through all these scenes, and you can just take your time and see these scenes in their entirety on your own. Just wait for them to start.
够了！我派猎人把白雪公主带进森林里杀掉，但她竟然失败了。看来我得亲自动手了。不过首先我得乔装打扮一番，隐藏我王后的美貌。接下来是为白雪公主准备的特别礼物，一个诱人的苹果。
So the previous scene was not working for some reason, but this one was. So pretty cool. So you follow the pixie dust, and it'll lead you to the next scene. Notice how we're here all by ourselves? There's absolutely nobody else here. So let's see if it's working. Let's see. Cool Pepper's ghost effect there.
再见。
好吧，好了，快走吧。哦，天哪，这么多脏碗盘！这样吧，趁他们不在，我们来把小木屋打扫干净。我的小帮手们到哪儿去了？你也可以帮忙哦，用手指一个小动物，小动物们就会去清理干净。吹着口哨工作，要开开心心，一起努力收拾这地方，弹一首快乐歌，唱着那歌儿，一起工作，生活的快乐，来打扫这地方，把灰尘清扫过，快拿起扫把，就像跟那些生日。
I'll take a break here so you can see some of the theming. The Seven Dwarfs Cottage. Oh.
亲爱的，吃个
There's the
苹
apple,
果
the
吧。
poison apple. So we're actually running into the group behind us. They actually caught up to us. So here's the exits out, the exit stairs down. So now we're going down around the center of the castle. So previously we went up, and I don't know if you can see through the glass, the stained glass windows here, but the big chandelier is just on the other side. Very nice. Cool walkthrough attraction. But it's kind of cool how we actually are walking inside the castle. Very cool. Okay, so now we've just exited the castle walkthrough attraction. And the way that attraction works, it's kind of a self-guided tour. And there's different scenes in the different rooms tell the story of Sleeping Beauty. And the first few rooms, there's always a cast member there. And they kind of hustle you through, and they let you go through in small groups, about maybe 10, 12 people. At least today, about 10, 12 people. It wasn't that busy. And they hustle you through there really quick at the beginning. You got to keep up with your group until you get to the scene with the magic mirror on the wall. When you get to that scene, then the cast members just let you do a self-guided tour. They just disappear. And from that point, it's a series of scenes that I filmed. Actually, you saw some of them. And there's a little video projection in there, and Pepper's ghost effects and things like that. And they tell the story of Snow White, but there's nobody in there to push you and hustle you through to make sure you keep up with your group of 12 people. So the thing is, the people here, they stampede through that thing. I mean, once they see the magic mirror on the wall, and the wall where the magic mirror is slides open, then you enter the self-guided portion of the tour, they just stampede through there. There's like, at light speed, they engage warp drive, and they stampede past all the scenes. And so I learned this trick from, thank you, Mr. Chris Provost of Provost Park Pass. He said, let the herd stampede through and just stay towards the back. And that's what we did. And you can have clear, unobstructed views of all of the scenes with Snow White on the self-guided portion of the walkthrough. And that's what we did. We just went through, and it was just the three of us, except towards the end, a previous group behind us of stampeding people kind of caught up with us. Only about 2 or 3 of them. And so that's the way to do that attraction. If you want to get videos or pictures of the different scenes in the different rooms, just let the stampede go. Like I said, once again, it's just, I mentioned this when I rode Tron Light Cycle Power Run last night. People here don't really understand story. That's kind of my assessment after coming here, is that people don't understand that these Disney theme park attractions aren't just quote-unquote rides. There's a story to them. But I don't think these people here understand that concept. They just stampede through all the pre-shows as quickly as possible, or the cast members force guests to stampede through the pre-shows. So they really don't know what these attractions are about, the whole story behind them. They really have, I think they have no clue. Now, if I'm wrong, if anybody is a local person from Shanghai, please comment below. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm underestimating the folks here. Maybe they're more familiar with the source material for these attractions than I realize. But that's what it sure seems like anyways. And I've never experienced this at any of the other parks. Like Disneyland Paris, for example. People love absorbing the story of the attractions and certainly watching the pre-shows. And this, oh, by the way, this is considered an attraction here. There's each of the Chinese zodiac animals are represented here along this wall, represented by various Disney animated characters. And everybody likes to pose next to their Chinese zodiac sign. And believe it or not, this thing is actually considered an attraction here. So that's kind of interesting. And I think some of them might have been changed through the years since the park opened, because, for example, Judy Hopps is listed here. I don't think Zootopia had been released when this park opened in 2014, I believe. So this might have been Thumper originally, not sure. As I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by a dead battery, this wall of tile mosaics is actually listed as an attraction here at the park. Picnic Basket. This is a restaurant, a little quick service place I've never seen open, I don't think. It hasn't been open on this trip, but I don't think I've ever seen it open in the past either. So we are headed over to Disneytown for lunch. Yeah, it's about lunchtime right now. So my family and I are getting a little hungry, and we're going to go grab a bite to eat. And now that the temperature has kind of kicked up a little bit, it is getting very humid. So my glasses are fogging up like crazy every time I leave like one of the air-conditioned stores and I go outside. So yeah, now it's starting to feel like the Magic Kingdom as far as humidity goes. And now, like I said, keep in mind, I'm not from a humid environment at all. So for those that have not been to the Bay Area or been to California, humidity is something that it does not exist. So while these folks are fine, they're not hot, they're not uncomfortable, they're not sweating buckets at all. If you're a Bay Area dude like me, oh yeah, this is why we pay so much to live in the Bay Area, is to not have to deal with sticky humidity. And this is not even that bad, I'm sure. It gets a lot worse than this. And I have experienced worse than this. When I went to Hong Kong Disneyland, oh man, whew, that was brutal. Every time I got out of my hotel room and got out the hotel, my shirt was just wet, soaked instantly. And it wasn't raining. It wasn't rain. It was good old-fashioned sweating going on in Hong Kong when I went there. So, and everybody else in Hong Kong was perfectly fine. I was the only one that was just sweating buckets because I'm just not used to humid environment. And if there's any Bay Area folks out there, any fellow Bay Area folks out there watching, please leave a comment below. Let me know, how do you deal with humidity when you go to the humid environment? Are you just dying like me, or maybe it's just me? I don't know. So here's a glance down Mickey Avenue, as we are going to be taking the shortcut exit to Disneytown. So I remember in one of the very first videos I did, I had said that the early morning admission for hotel guests was this side entrance over here where Disneytown is, and that was wrong. They have, at least this year, abandoned that procedure. And now when you enter the park early, when you're a hotel guest, you also enter down Mickey Avenue, where the faux train station is located, just like everybody else. So that's another thing I noticed about this park. A lot of the procedures change so quickly. So you think you've got everything nailed, you think everything makes a lot of sense, and then all of a sudden you come back here like a year later and everything you learned from the year before goes out the window. So it's quite a bit different compared to Disneyland and Walt Disney World, where they have established procedures that they've been using for quite a while. So anyways, here is the exit. Here's the Gardens of Imagination. It's starting to sprinkle again, so if I have any raindrops on my lens, please, I apologize for that. Just please try to ignore it. It's driving me bananas too. So looks like they're setting up for the parade, which I can't believe they're doing the parade. I know the parade has been canceled the past few days because of the weather. But anyways, here's the side exit of Shanghai Disneyland that leads into the entrance of Disneytown, right here. So this is a major way to save yourself some time. If you want to come out to Disneytown and grab a quick bite to eat or pick up a souvenir or something, this is a great way to save some time versus going all the way down Mickey Avenue. Oh, before I forget too, one thing. To re-enter the park, no more hand stamps. So just like at Disneyland, I believe Disneyland does not use hand stamps anymore. You just show your park ticket and it'll let you back in again. We just got finished eating lunch over at Disneytown, and we're headed back into Shanghai Disneyland. And if you are re-entering the park, you do not need to show your passport. So just, well, let me rephrase myself. As of this moment, right here, right now, you do not need to show your passport if you are re-entering the park. So that may change. I don't know. We shall see. So it's so humid that I had to wipe off my camera lens again. Humidity, had to deal with it. So I apologize for that. But here we are. We're heading back into the park via Mickey Avenue. This is the first time we actually went through the main gate throughout our 2 days here. So I'm gonna go down the middle just because it's cool. So here we go. So you get the grand reveal. Every theme park has to have a fantastic grand reveal, right? When you first come in. And this park is no exception. Although I have to admit, one of the best grand reveals of any theme park I've been to so far is Disney Sea. Although I gotta admit, I'm getting little tingles just coming through here right now. But the ultimate tingles for me anyways are when I go to Disney Sea. And you see that grand reveal where you go through Mediterranean Harbor and you see Mount Prometheus on the other side of the water. It's just, yeah, stunning. But I also get goosebumps on my arms when I go to Disneyland too. After all these years, I still get the tingles when I go to Disneyland and I walk through the main gate and I go under the train station tunnels and I go down Main Street towards Sleeping Beauty Castle. These folks are waiting for meet and greets with various characters. So we are headed over to, of course, Pirates of the Caribbean. Cannot leave Shanghai Disneyland without riding Pirates of the Caribbean at least 1 million times. So we have to reach that. So it has a very short wait because for some inexplicable reason, Pirates of the Caribbean is not a super duper popular attraction here. Something that's been true since this park opened that I've never been able to figure out is why Pirates of the Caribbean Battle for the Sunken Treasure is not more popular than it is. So people rush to it and then they'll ride it just once, but they don't, it seems like they don't do repeat rides on it. So in the afternoon, the wait usually goes down pretty short, especially compared to the other e-ticket attractions here like Zootopia, Hot Pursuit, and Soaring Over the Horizon. This guy's dragging his bag through the park. I guess that's how they sweep up the park. Keep it clean. Like I said, you see some pretty strange stuff at this park. That's why it's the Bizarro Park. One thing that's kind of weird here, and oh, by the way, we're going to be headed over to Treasure Cove. That's where Pirates of the Caribbean is here. No New Orleans Square here. So have to go to Treasure Cove when you want to ride Pirates of the Caribbean. So you see some pretty weird things here, and one thing I've noticed over the last few years that is gaining a lot of popularity are strollers. When we first came here, there were not a lot of strollers here at all. Now there's strollers, not quite as many as say Disneyland or Walt Disney World's parks, but you do see a lot of them. And a lot of them are these double wide strollers that are gigantic. They're like the Chevy Suburban of strollers here. And many times there's only one little tiny kid in them too. So, and other times they have these big like 5 or 6 year olds in them. And here's one. Here's one coming up right here, this red one. Now, okay, they got 2 kids in it, so okay, that's... You would expect that, but sometimes there's only like one small baby in that thing, and it takes up so much room. And on the shuttle bus from the hotels, we noticed that, unlike at Disneyland and Walt Disney World, where you have to fold your strollers to get on the parking lot trams, here on the buses, they don't make people fold up their strollers. So they swallow up so much square footage in the bus. Oh yeah, I noticed that the humidity has definitely cranked up a bit. So let me do a foggy lens check right now. Okay, lens is okay. So here you are, Treasure Cove. Walking over to Pirates of the Caribbean. Is it Caribbean or Caribbean? I've heard it both ways. And at least watching videos on YouTube, I tend to notice that folks that are on the East Coast, mainly Florida, that go to Walt Disney World a lot, say Caribbean. Whereas I notice folks on the West Coast that go to Disneyland a lot say Caribbean. So me being a West Coast guy that went to Disneyland a lot, I've always heard Caribbean. So I don't know. I guess it's probably both, right? Tomato, you say tomato, I say tomato, you say tomato. It's all the same, right? Oh yeah, definitely more humid now. The temperature is going up, so it's getting a little sticky-ish. Okay, now see those big cranes up there? I wonder if those are for the construction of the new roller coaster, Spider-Man themed coaster that they are building here. I'm not sure. It's hard to find news about this park because so few Disney fans in the US come to this park. So, and even fewer US based or English speaking Disney fans report on the construction here at this park. So I very rarely find any new information about this park or like construction updates or anything like that that you find at all the 5 other Disney theme park resorts. You just don't see it here. At least I don't anyway. So I'm going to slow down a little bit and camp out here because I think there's a couple of Shanghai Disneyland cosplayers. I'm not positive, but right there. So that site is common at... Okay, see these folks that are following them with the purple hats? I've noticed some of those people following other folks dressed up in costumes. Those might be professional photographers that are following those 2 cosplayers, semi-cosplayers, I don't know. Could be what they're doing. So they're going in there to take photos. I've noticed those folks with the purple hats following other people that are dressed up real fancy and all, pardon the expression, dolled up. So that might be what those folks are doing. I don't know if they're cosplayers or not, but anyway, just something you only see at this park. Well, I take it back. You do see it at Tokyo Disneyland, but they're always cosplayers at Tokyo Disneyland. So here we are. Pirates of the Caribbean, Battle for the Sunken Treasure. Let's head on in. It's only a 20-minute wait, so I can do that. I never knew that there's a graveyard out here next to the queue. Okay, so we're walking through Tomorrowland, and we are going to go to ride Tron Light Cycle Power Run. maybe one last time on this adventure. So we'll go in the back way from down here, which I haven't done yet. There's two ways to get to Tron Light Cycle Power Run. You can either take that pathway up there, past the restaurant, or you can go down here at the ground level and take this ramp that wraps around. There it goes. So one thing about this coaster, even though it does come outside, it's under this canopy, so even if it's raining like crazy, you will not get wet.
You can see in there.
Really nicely landscaped coaster now that I think about it, but my only beef is that it has, the structure is so visible out here. So at least as far as the way it looks, that's my main beef with it. Oops, let me clean off my lens.
That one had the big man.
Oh, my son just told me that one had the big man seat. It did? Okay, I didn't see it. I was too busy. I caught it too late. I wasn't really paying attention. It's pretty cool. I'd like to go down there, see what's down there, but... Okay, let's go around the group here. Very quiet coaster, too. It does not have the B&M roar, thank goodness, which I know coaster enthusiasts will absolutely skewer me for saying this. I'm not a big fan of the B&M roar. I much prefer the sound of the Schwarzkopf thunder, actually. But that's just the way my ears are tuned. Love me some Schwarzkopf coasters. So the main entrance to Tron Light Cycle Power Run is over here. Oh, we may have to wait in the overflow queue, which I've never done before. Hopefully it's not raining too much. I don't know, I don't think it is. So it does have a long wait. It is a 50-minute wait, posted wait, for standby right now. So, which is a very long wait. I have never waited this long for this coaster, but it's okay. One last time, right? I love the uniforms that the cast members wear here. Those are so cool. Ooh, look at all the water dumping off of the awning right there. Okay, we just got off of Buzz Lightyear Planet Rescue, and I did the best. It was only 10-minute wait, just like it says right there. And I did the best I ever did. I got about 982,300 points, which is the best I think I've ever done on any of the Buzz Lightyear attractions. My son here got over 1 million. So way to go, buddy. I don't know anyone that's ever gotten that high before. So that was pretty cool. He got the highest rank possible, which was, I got a Cosmic Commando. What was your rank?
Galactic Hero.
Galactic Hero, that's right. Okay, so it is about 4:20, 4:23, and unfortunately, we are about to head out of the park because we need to go get our suitcases, and then we are going to be changing hotels to a hotel near the PVG, which is the Pudong International Airport. And unfortunately, this may conclude the Shanghai Disneyland portion of this adventure. And as you can see, it is pouring rain, and yes, the rain is sticking to my lens. Let me stop here and clean it off. So give me a minute. So we have to say goodbye to Tomorrowland for at least another year. Bye-bye Tomorrowland. Bye-bye Tron Light Cycle Power Run. Bye-bye jetpacks. I missed you again. I didn't get a chance to ride you again due to this crummy, rainy weather. So, maybe next year. By the way, that is the most you can see of the show building here. So they did a much better job at hiding the show building for Tron Light Cycle Power Run than they did at the Magic Kingdom. This always happens at the end of every Disney theme park vacation when you have to go leave, and I still remember when I was a kid, and I said, like I told you before, we went to Disneyland one day out of the year, and I was so sad when we had to go home because that was it for another year. So we did not buy multi-day tickets. They didn't have multi-day tickets when I was a kid. It was just one day, and that was it. So I was so sad, and so I still feel that way even to this day, even though we do go to all the parks for more than one day. We do buy multi-day tickets all the time when we go to the parks, but still, I still feel sad, just like I feel right now. Maybe the next time we come back here, there will be something built in this expansion space. I hope so. Ugh, got more junk on my lens. Okay, give me a minute. So, as I was saying, I always feel sad when you have to go, but the good news is that this adventure continues. We are not headed straight home. We're going to be moving into just a new hotel, and we're going to be staying here in Shanghai for just one more night, and then we will be hopping on a plane and heading over to Sapporo, which is in Hokkaido, Japan, which is in the northern section of Japan. So it's a place that we have never been to, so I'm very excited about that. So I'm sad about leaving Shanghai Disneyland, but I am very excited because I get to go to a place that we have never been to before. So that'll be really exciting. Let's go down this way. Go down a little different way. I have not been down before. So we'll take this side pathway. And we'll go around over here. That's just the little area for stroller parking. Okay, so this is the exit we will be taking here on the right to Disneytown. But I wanted to just, before I head over there, I just wanted to come over here to the Gardens of Imagination for just a minute. And I just want to say goodbye to the Enchanted Storybook Castle. Like we always say, whenever we leave any theme park or amusement park, we will be back. Bye for now, we will be back. So here's our exit. We're gonna go straight to Disneytown and to the bus pickup spot. And imagine, okay, this is, before we go, see that girl in that fancy dress right there? They actually wear these when they ride rides like Tron Light Cycle Power Run. I didn't see them, but they were waiting in the queue to imagine wearing a super fancy lacy frilly dress on a Vekoma booster bike coaster. Okay, that's something you won't see at the Magic Kingdom, I guarantee you that. But you do see it here all day, every day at Shanghai Disneyland, because this is the Bizarro Disney theme park. So you got all kinds of bizarro stuff like that going on. For some reason, the theme of this trip, or this part of the adventure, seems to be rain, rain, and more rain. So it's kind of appropriate. I have rain on my lens. So here we go. We are leaving. This is it. Last chance. I'd love to stay more, but we've got to get going. So once we pass through that gate, there we go. Now we could re-enter, of course, but thus concludes Shanghai Disneyland portion of this adventure. Bye bye, Shanghai Disneyland. We'll be back. We will be back. So, the place where the buses stop at there's one close by here, and there are actually 2 stops that service downtown. Oh, excuse me. Gosh, I still keep saying that. I'm sorry. I keep saying that. There are 2 stops, bus stops that service Disneytown, and the one that's closer to the park is right here. So you get to the Donald Duck Cafe right here, and then you make a right, and you go down these stairs right here. Now this bus stop here is only open until 5 p.m. and that's it. And then they close it up, and then you have to walk all the way down to the front of the park and take the main bus stop. So this is the stop where we started our Shanghai Disneyland adventure a few days ago. And here we are now ending our Shanghai Disneyland adventure at the same bus stop. So this is the last, this only stops until 5 p.m. So here's our last look at the Toy Story Hotel lobby. Oh, look at all these people. They're starting their vacations. Look at them. And unfortunately, we are ending our vacation here anyway. So, and yes, it's still raining outside. Poor Woody and Bullseye are getting soaked out there. But we gotta go get our stuff, which is over here. So here is our room at the, and I'm going to butcher this, Hold On Putan Hotel, or Pushin Hold On Hotel. I'm not sure. There's only a Chinese name for it, so I'm not sure. This is room 1302. So 1302. Yes, we are on the 13th floor. So, anybody familiar with the Hollywood Tower Hotel? Yeah, this is the floor we're staying on. So anyway, I'll give you a quick room tour. There's this cool vase here, and a closet area, and a nice bench to sit on while you change your clothes. There is a mirror here. That's me. Hello. And I don't think this does not open. Over here they have some bottles of water and a teapot. Another vase up there. In here, oh, there we go. Some teacups and stuff. And, oh, there's a refrigerator, mini fridge in here. Here is the TV. Nice TV, a cool light strip down there. Table with 2 chairs, that's nice. For some reason there's Mickey and Minnie, what do they call those, bed runners, I guess? Kind of strange. So there's one large bed and one smaller bed. This hotel is not associated with Shanghai Disneyland in any way, so I don't know why it has Mickey and Minnie on it. There's a phone right there. I don't know if there's a... Oh, okay. I thought there was a safe in here, but I guess not. So anyway, cool decor. So they're actually, here's the bathroom area. There's actually 2 mirrors here. One's hung from the ceiling. That's interesting. I've never seen that before. Here's the sink area. And of course, got some selection of slippers. All hotels in Asia that I've been to always have selections of slippers. Here's the shower. Has a rain shower too. Not too big, but it will work for us. We're only staying here for one night. And right next door here is the potty, right here. And one thing that's a little interesting is that while you're doing your business, you can watch somebody take a shower, because there's a glass panel here. See-through, completely see-through, not smoked glass in any way. Or, if you don't like that, when you're taking a shower, you can watch somebody do their business. Look at that, it's completely see-through. Oh, okay. So, some people like to read or listen to music while they're doing the business. Well, here in this hotel, you can watch somebody take a shower for entertainment. Okay, that's kind of interesting, whatever. So, we're only staying here for one night. So, this will suffice. Gets the job done. Nothing too fancy, but actually it's really nice. But this hotel is fairly close to the Pudong PVG airport. So this is where we're going to stay here, and we're going to relax after 2 full days at the Shanghai Disneyland Resort. And we're just going to relax and enjoy the free dinner buffet, which is a little bit late. It starts at 9:30 p.m. But we're going to enjoy that tonight and just kick back and relax, maybe watch some TV. I forgot to show that they actually have a little kitty desk and table here. That's interesting. I've never seen that at any hotel I've stayed at before. Oh, with some Duplo type blocks inside. That's interesting. And my son just discovered this. The curtains, if you push a button over there on the control panel, the curtains operate electrically. Look at that. Now that is pretty cool. I've never seen that in a hotel room before. And outside you have a view of some part of Pudong that we have never ever been to, so I'm not sure. Supposedly we're fairly close to Pudong International Airport, known as PVG, but I don't know. I've never been here before. But yeah, the gorgeous view of the air conditioner rooftop. This rooftop down here with the air conditioner and some poles, some wooden poles. Okay, okay, what a beautiful view. But so just like at the end of a Broadway theater production, the curtains close. Thank you for attending tonight's showing, ladies and gentlemen. Please proceed out the doors to the rear of the theater. I forgot to mention this at the end of my previous video, but I would just like to close out with some thoughts about Shanghai Disneyland, since we just finished our last day there. Shanghai Disneyland, as I've been saying, you do have to kind of get used to it, especially if you are used to the US-based Disney theme parks. And it is, as I've said several times, the bizarro Disney theme park. So you do have to keep an open mind when you go there. I do like going to Shanghai Disneyland. I still do not love it. That's always been my stance on the park ever since it first opened. Always have a great time there, but it is an acquired taste. I will not kid you on that. And so I didn't get a chance to also mention this. This is something I forgot. I was going to say while we were at the park, but it just occurred to me now when I was reviewing some of the footage that I filmed at the park over 2 visits. And that is that there's not a lot of Star Wars stuff there. Okay, there's not any Star Wars meet and greet locations. There's a Marvel meet and greet location, so there's a lot of Marvel presence. Or there's a bit of not a lot. There's a bit of Marvel presence in the park. But as far as Star Wars stuff goes, there's all I saw during our 2 visits to the park this time was just one rack of lightsabers for sale in the world of Disney. And that's it. So if you're a diehard Star Wars fan, expecting something on the lines of a Star Tours attraction or a Star Wars launch bay where you can take pictures with the various Star Wars characters, no, there's none of that there. I did not see any Star Wars merchandise for sale inside any of the parks. And as a matter of fact, at least with my son's eyes and my eyes, all we saw Star Wars related in the entire park over 2 days was just some guy wearing a Return of the Jedi t-shirt in front of us when we were waiting for the pirate-themed show in Treasure Cove. And that was it. one t-shirt, a Return of the Jedi t-shirt worn by a guest. That's all the Star Wars presence that we saw inside the entire park. And then outside of the park, as I said, at Disneytown, was just one rack of lightsabers for sale. And that was it. So if you don't like Star Wars, then maybe Shanghai Disneyland is the park for you. However, if you do love Star Wars, yeah, definitely you will be very disappointed in Shanghai Disneyland's selection of Star Wars stuff. So anyway, just thought I'd mention that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next video.